I'm back. I'm back. It's Friday. I know that there's been quite a few days in the last few weeks where it probably said, oh, Ross is going live today. And then where the heck was I? So my apologies for that. I'm actually, kind of figuring things out. One of the things I'm figuring out is that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday might have been a little much. I like to really get into it. So I often get carried away and I think, oh, it's just going to be a short live today. And then I just really get going and I just want to keep it going. So that's taken a lot of my time and energy. And in order to just ensure that going live doesn't feel like this burden or this thing that I'm stressed about, or, I want to continue to enjoy it. I want it to be fun because I know if I'm having fun, that's going to come right through and you're going to feel that too. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm fixing my window here. Here we go. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully a couple people will jump in here. If not, you'll be able to see this awesome recording. All right. So what I want to touch on today is I want to just share a couple things with you. So if you have an ADHD brain, hope you're tuning in. If you know someone that has an ADHD brain and they're struggling and they're feeling like ADHD is totally ruining their life, or it's this pain in the butt and they can't quite figure out why it's, just getting in the way. Like ADHD, when it's not managed, not understood, it often gets in the way. It often feels like it's something to get rid of. It's something to work around instead of figuring out how to work with it. I was on a call with someone this past week and they had never heard someone say before that ADHD can be managed. It can be understood in a way that allows you to actually start to recognize and see the advantages. This guy was blown away. He's like, what? Nobody's ever talked like that. No one's ever even given me that idea that aspects of my ADHD and how this brain works could be a really positive thing. And it can. For him, he notices that he often has these ideas that just pop in his head. And he's been looking at them as super disruptive and, oh man, I hate when this happens, when I just get an idea and it comes out of nowhere and I feel like it's distracting. And I told him, I said, hey, that's not a bad thing, right? If ideas are hitting you right in the moment as you're interacting and connecting with another human being, and you know that idea could potentially enrich the conversation, it might benefit that person, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And in fact, if understood, if used appropriately, it could really turn into one of many superpower abilities with an ADHD brain. So if you know someone that could benefit from this, please share this with them. There's so many people out there, and it just shocks and surprises me that there still are people who are not getting exposed to folks like me and many others out there who are letting them know, hey, ADHD is absolutely an advantage. And it's something with the right training, with the right coach, with the right tools, tips, tricks, strategies, it can go from the most hated, awful part of your life to something that's really helping you stand out, that's helping you carve your way through the world. So what I want to touch on today is I want to touch on something a lot of us can struggle with. I've been struggling with this a lot since I got back from Hawaii with my family, which was about a week and a half ago. Dude, I've been really struggling. It's been tough to get back in the rhythm of some things. I felt super overwhelmed, and I just noticed there were some flaws, there were some holes in my own systems that I use for planning, for prioritizing, for staying focused and ensuring that I'm making progress on the things that matter most to me. that matter most to my family's future, that matter most to my mission, that matter most to this business that I'm building. So here's the thing. If you have an ADHD brain, you've got to find ways to get out of your own head. So what do I mean by that? So something that I was reminded of last night, I sat down to read a book, and we had just put my daughter to bed. I sat down on the sofa, I was reading a book, and my wife was doing some things on her computer. And all of a sudden I thought, you know what? I need to switch up. I need to switch up my morning routine. I've known for a long time that my morning routine hasn't been as optimized as I want it to be, right? I often don't finish it in a timely fashion, or if I do finish it, I finish it way too late in the morning. And so I started opening up ChatGPT. So for me, ChatGPT has been an incredible tool that helps make sense of all the activity that's happening in my head. And when you have ADHD, there's a lot of things for neurotypicals that they can just do in their head. They can figure it out right here. And they don't need to necessarily write it down. They don't necessarily need a flip chart and a big whiteboard. They don't need that. They can just figure it out. And one of the things that's been plaguing me is I love to exercise, right? Exercise is such a critical part in keeping me feeling good, filling my brain with the dopamine, with the food that it needs to operate at its highest levels. But I really don't like working out and exercising early in the morning. When I say early in the morning, I mean like before 9 a.m. If it's before 9 a.m., dude, getting on the Peloton, like working out, it feels crazy. Like I doubt myself the whole time thinking, why am I doing this? Like my body's just rebelling. It feels awful. Like everything in my body is saying, why are we doing this? This isn't the right time. We want to be doing something else. And it's not as much fun. It's way more painful and something to just be endured instead of it being enjoyable. And I've noticed that when I exercise, say a little bit later in the day, like late morning, say 10:30, 11, 11:30, something like that, all of a sudden the exercise, it's still challenging. It's always hard, but it's more fun. I'm enjoying it. It doesn't, my body's not rebelling. Like the whole experience, it's just better across the board. And if you exercise and there's a certain time of day that you like to do it, you know what I'm talking about. So I was trying to figure this out because I like to exercise 5 days a week. And in order to do that, I had baked it into my morning routine. But it had made my morning routine so bloated that it was taking so long, and I kept beating myself up because I would get done my morning routine at sometimes 11 a.m. and be like, man, that's too much time. That's taking too much time. I got to switch it up. So I followed my gut instinct. I put my book down last night and I opened up ChatGPT. And I just started stream of consciousness talking to ChatGPT. A lot of people don't realize you can do this, but you can open up ChatGPT and there's a little microphone next to, where you type in your input. And you can just tap that microphone and you can just start talking. Stream of consciousness. And it doesn't need to make sense. You can just be literally talking out loud. Doesn't need to be complete sentences. You're not using Siri. You don't need to say period, next paragraph, exclamation point. No. You can literally talk out loud. Stream of consciousness. Let me just give you an idea of what this was like. So last night, opened up ChatGPT and I said, man, I started recording myself saying something like this. I want to start figuring out a new revised morning routine. My morning routine's been going way too long, and it includes exercise, it includes mindfulness, it includes making my bed, unloading the dishwasher, making my breakfast drink, taking my medication and my supplements. And it's just too long. And I need to find a way to condense it. And the other thing I'm noticing is that my exercise goes a lot better and I enjoy my exercise a lot more when it happens later in the day. Like when I'm exercising around, the late morning, say 11 a.m. or noon, but I'm trying to figure out how to make that work and build it around my work schedule. So is it possible that I could do a shortened, revised morning routine and exercise in the middle of the day and almost let it be kind of like, almost let my exercise maybe energize the rest of my afternoon? Like, what would that look like? I'm not kidding. It was something like that. Stopped recording and just sent it into ChatGPT. The AI is so good that it can make sense of all of it. Even if you feel like you don't make sense, even if you think I'm talking crazy, how is this going to work? It works. And it is brilliant for an ADHD brain because so often what we need to make sense of ourselves, to make sense of our thoughts, and just to figure things out, to identify insights and breakthroughs, and just to find like, okay, what's the next step forward I should take? A lot of times we need to share. Problem is, we really like to share a lot. And sometimes you don't have a receptive listener for all the sharing that you really need in order to process and move forward. So that's what AI and ChatGPT, that's why it's a great tool, is you can share to your heart's content. And the AI is never going to say, oh, I'm bored, shut up, stop talking. Or as my wife sometimes says, out of love, she'd be like, hey, how much longer do you think this is going to be? AI will listen to you all day. So I kept going last night and AI's helped me make sense. We're going back and forth and we're figuring this out. And I keep having ideas and AI keeps helping me unravel and untangle my thoughts. Because what seems so easy for a neurotypical brain is when you're faced with what I was facing. It's oh gosh, I just realized I never hit live on Instagram. Well, here we are. We're going live now on Instagram. Great. All right, what's up, Instagram? Totally forgot to hit play. Now we hit play. We're on Instagram as well. So just a little catch up here for the people on Instagram who are just joining. I'm talking about tools today. I'm talking about why tools are so important when you have ADHD to get out of your head, because you got to get out of your brain because there's so much going on in our brain. And typically our brains aren't the best at untangling thoughts and really like seeing the forest through the trees. And it requires often like writing things down. It's why whiteboards and flip charts and mind maps are so powerful for ADHDers, because we got to get out of our head in order to make sense of what's going on and in order to figure things out. So what I was just talking about before I recognized I hadn't hit play on Instagram is last night I was using ChatGPT to figure out a new revised morning routine. And I was just talking stream of consciousness to ChatGPT. And a lot of people don't recognize that you can do that. And ChatGPT, it's freaking AI. It can understand. It doesn't need you to add punctuation. You can just talk as crazy as you want to it, and it'll help you make sense of your own thoughts. Sometimes ChatGPT helps me understand what's going on with my thoughts even before I'll completely see what's happening. That probably sounds crazy, but it's true. So I'm talking to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is helping me figure out that, hey, like it is possible, Ross, for you to schedule some time in the middle of your day for exercising and then to shorten your morning routine. So I do my morning routine and I can take my daughter to school and then I can come back and I can really hit it hard for a couple hours. And so then like, as I started to figure this out, man, I really started to hyper focus on this. And me and ChatGPT, we really got into it for probably about 30, 45 minutes last night, leading up to kind of my wind down time before I went to bed. And then I started thinking, man, I think I need to revisit my entire schedule. Like, and I started talking to ChatGPT saying, so ChatGPT, tell me the most popular hours that people generally like to schedule coaching sessions for. And it's telling me. And ChatGPT, tell me what are the most popular days that people love to have coaching sessions. And it tells me. And then I start restructuring and rethinking my entire week. And I start going, okay, so if I want to make sure I'm having X number of coaching calls per day, or if I have, 10 coaching clients and I want to mix it up and, I'm really brainstorming with AI, and the AI is helping me figure things out because it's able to spit things out so quickly and I can see it with my eyes. And that's so helpful when you have an ADHD brain. If you're trying to figure things out, you need to get things on paper or on a screen. You need to be able to be thinking and observing your thinking with your eyes. Does that make sense? So things are always happening up here, but you've got to get some things out in front of you so you can still be thinking up here while taking in that additional insight and different perspective from a piece of paper or a screen, or in this case, AI. Gosh, I hope that makes sense. I hope someone out there with ADHD is listening. They're like, I feel you, Ross. Like, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm tracking. So, yeah, I got this morning and I was pumped because I had just figured out, with the help of AI, a new morning routine, and not just a revised morning routine, but a whole revised schedule to really manage my coaching business and ensure I'm protecting time for the things that matter most, right? Like, I want set time for coaching calls. And then I want set time to spend with my daughter. I want set time to spend with my wife. I want set times to get on the phone and catch up with friends. I want set time in my week to be able to connect with friends in real life. And sometimes we get in trouble because our ADHD will tell us, man, go big. Like, we often get trapped in this all or nothing mentality. So when I initially had set up my scheduling tool for my coaching business, I had been like, oh, I want to be available, from 10 to 6 on Monday through Friday for coaching calls. And, it's all coming from a good place. Like, I want to be available for when people, need me, and I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and be available to, with windows that are too limited. And then I'm not able to meet and connect and serve and help the people that I'm trying to reach. But I also have to be careful because ADHD, your ADHD brain thrives with structure. And this has been one of the biggest paradoxes of trying to build a business on my own, which I've never done before, is creating my own structure. I need that structure. And creating it myself is hard. It's really hard. And tools like AI allow you, it's like sitting down with another human being that doesn't have ADHD, and they can help you build and create and think in different ways that your typical ADHD brain really struggles. So I woke up this morning pretty fired up because I knew that I was getting to tackle a revised morning routine that was more simple. I knew I could get it done. I knew I could execute this and be proud of it and excited. And I did. I executed it. I took my daughter to school. And because I had already planned on my workout being in the middle of the day instead of in the beginning of the day, I had a little flex in my morning. And a friend of mine who's visiting from out of town was like, hey, I'm going to be, walking by your house shortly. Like, you want to get together, like go get coffee? I was like, absolutely. And I had the flexibility to do that. It just felt good. And then I got home and I kept going. I mean, I was hyper focused on this. I'm like, man, I want to start optimizing my schedule even more. So I got into my Motion AI scheduling tool where I have my booking link and all that. And I started really refining things, right? I started recognizing like, okay, if you have ADHD, I don't know if you've ever tried block time, right? Block time's really helpful, right? Because when you can block out, chunks of time for accomplishing certain types of work, it allows your ADHD brain to maybe potentially fall into hyperfocus, which is going to serve you. But if your schedule's so chopped up with all these little things, a little meeting there, a little something here, doctor appointment here, and you don't have any significant chunks, so your ADHD brain actually has a chance to maybe hyperfocus, well, you're probably going to feel frustrated. Because if you ever give yourself even maybe enough time to start getting in a really focused state, you have to context switch because you got another call, you have another meeting, you have a doctor's appointment. And I'm speaking to people who have, like, if you have some control over your schedule, this is something you can do. Or maybe you have the flexibility and you just need to ask that person at work, that boss, that supervisor, tell them what you need. But so I started really figuring out, okay, how can I build some blocks of time into my schedule? And I was having so much fun with it. I was totally hyper focusing on this, and I loved it because I could tell I was making progress. I could tell that I was evolving and finding this next level of optimization, of structure. And a lot of it, it was applying a less is more mentality. Instead of being available in these huge chunks for people to schedule coaching calls with me whenever works best for them, I started first with asking, well, what do I need? What's the structure that I need in order to feel strong, powerful, capable, confident, fulfilled, in order to know that I've got a structure that I can start to lean into. Structure is so important because when it comes to decisions, too many decisions that you're making with your ADHD brain, and you're going to feel overwhelmed, you're going to feel stressed, you're going to feel more anxious. So if you can minimize the amount of decisions you need to make in any given day, your ADHD brain is going to be more equipped and able to make the decisions when they really count. So I know it's a lot of rambling. I hope some of you are resonating with this. So I'm just pumped because I actually started figuring out. So you know what, man, maybe I should actually screen share and show you what I'm talking about. So I think I will. I think I'm going to screen share right now and show you. Okay. Yeah, we're going there. I did not plan on doing this, but I'm doing it. Okay. All right. Check it out. Woo. Okay. Here we go. I'm pretty fired up about this. Okay. So I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to screen share and show you. You're going to be looking at Motion, my AI scheduling tool, and you're going to see the revisions that I've made. So this rambling will hopefully make more sense. So check this out. Here we go. Okay, open. Sorry, it's like open system settings. I have to let Google record. Okay, yes, it's okay. Great. Okay. Later. Oh gosh. Gotta quit and reopen. I don't want to quit and reopen. Okay, maybe this isn't gonna work. We're gonna try it though. We'll see. Ooh, I think it's gonna work. All right, sweet. Oh, unable to share screen. Dang it. I have to quit and reopen Google Chrome in order to do this. Shoot. Okay. Well, here's what I'll do. What I will do is I'm going to, maybe I can do this. Okay, hang on. Wow, I'm trying to figure this out real time, and it's definitely, it's not working out so great. All right, forget that. Forget that. Not sure what is happening right now. Okay. Wow. All over the place today. Holy smokes. What I will do is I will screenshot and drop in the comments of this video, or I'll put up a separate post of my revised schedule. And it feels so good because it's very much less is more. And I hope when you see it, you'll resonate. But I can just kind of describe it to you right now, I guess. So, for example, what I've adjusted my schedule to is I've decided that my needle moving activity time, like the time where I'm going to do my most focused work outside of being on a coaching call, discovering call, or something like that with anybody, is from 8:15 to 10:15 in the morning, 2-hour chunk after my morning routine, after I take my daughter to school. That's going to be focused time for me. Focused time to do some administrative stuff for my business, to expand my learning, right? To just do some of the needle moving activities. So Monday through Friday, that's going to be focused time. And then I've also decided that, after that, from 10:30 to 11:30, I'll do a coaching session. And then from 11:30 to about 1:30 or so, I'll exercise and eat lunch with a little buffer time in there. And then from 1:45 to 3:45 will be my second block of the day, Monday through Friday, for more needle moving activity work. And then from 4 to 6 o'clock or 4 to 6:30, basically I have time for 2 more coaching slots in that last part of the day. So that'll happen on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Anyway, again, a lot of rambling. I don't know if this makes sense. I'm a visual person. I'm speaking to ADHDers. I know you're visual too. I will drop the screenshots so you can see it and you can let me know. Maybe it will inspire you. If you're an entrepreneur, if you have control, and maybe you have more control than you think over when you're working, right? So often we tell ourselves that we need to first be available for everyone else, for everyone else's priorities. Well, what if you actually flipped that on its head and said, no, I need to first ensure that my priorities are set in stone. I need to first ensure that the things that matter most to me, I've blocked time for, and then build everything else in around that, because that's sustainable, right? The other way around, building in everyone else's priorities for you, for your life, for your time, for your focus, and then trying to squeeze in some of the things that you like to do, some things that matter most to you. That's a recipe for burnout. That's a recipe for resentment, right? That's going to quickly lead you to a place of feeling frustrated and angry and tired and just wondering, like, what's broken, what's out of sync. So there we go. a lot of things today. But tools wise, start using ChatGPT. I pay for ChatGPT each month super excited about the announcements with Apple bringing it in beta form in the fall to the iPhone. I mean, obviously, that's incredible because it's going to bring AI to the masses in such a convenient way. And we could do a video on that. Just, you might be like, well, why is that such a big deal? Because AI is going to have contextual knowledge of your entire life if you let it. So on your iPhone come the fall, AI is going to understand all these things going on, right? AI is going to know your contacts, it's going to know your calendar, it's going to know your messages and your email and your favorite apps. And that's going to make AI more smart. It's going to make AI more helpful because it's going to know you deeply in a way that ChatGPT currently just can't. But start using ChatGPT. Start just talking to it like it's that invisible friend who you wish you could just share with for however long to your heart's content, and they would just never get bored. AI can do that. And by doing that, you're taking your brain and you're getting outside of your head. Because if you have ADHD, you've got to get outside your head, whether it's a whiteboard or a notepad or AI, but you've got to get your thoughts, your ideas, everything going on in here out so you can look at it from a new lens, from a different perspective. And then that's when you'll start to find breakthrough and insight. You'll start to just breathe a little easier because you're going to stop. You're going to stop feeling so stuck, and you're going to stop feeling so limited by your ADHD brain, and you're going to start experiencing forward momentum, which is so freaking good. All right. Does anyone have any questions today? Wow, that was a lot of things. So, but would love to open it up. Hey, thanks, Elizabeth. Love those fresh morning hours productivity. Oh my gosh. Yes, it's the best. The best. My wife showed up. She's the best. Rich Bennett, thanks for joining today. Blanca, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Any questions? Anybody? Let me know what you want to know. I'm here for you. Oh, here we go. Oh, not a question, just thanks. Thanks, Blanca. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Any questions? This is your chance. Fire away. Okay. Hope you have an amazing weekend. My plan is to be back in here going live for you next Friday. And who knows? I might switch it up. I might start going live again multiple times a week and just making the lives shorter. Let me know what you would like to see. Would you prefer seeing me here more often and just, in more smaller bite-sized, clips? Or would you prefer, me to go more in depth like I did today? Today was a lot. I don't know if today made a whole lot of sense. But hopefully if you have ADHD more than anything, you resonated and you're like, oh, this guy's like me. So that definitely might have been the biggest positive takeaway. But I will see you next Friday. Let me know what you would like to hear about, what you would like to learn. I'm here for you. I want to serve. I want to help. And I'll see y'all soon. All right. Bye.